All right, it looks like the saga involving New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara could quickly be coming to an end after the running back pleaded no contest to a lesser misdemeanor charge stemming from an incident at a Las Vegas nightclub back in 2022 during the Pro Bowl, where Kamara and several other associates allegedly assaulted another man. Now, I say allegedly because he's pleading no contest. There's no guilt involved here, but the video was pretty damning. But this is overall a good thing for Kamara to get this thing settled. He was set to face trial starting July 31st after pleading not guilty to a felony charge. But the video that police had that was obtained by TMZ, it's damning, folks. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It corroborates the entirety of the defendant's story. It was not a self-defense case like Kamara and his lawyers were claiming. It was pretty bad. So this is a big win for Kamara overall. I think just taking a lesser plea, he's going to have to do community service and pay $100,000 to the victim for the medical expenses. Now, that doesn't put him out of the woods yet as far as lawsuits go. The defendant did file a civil suit back in October for $10 million. He suffered a fractured orbital, lots of other injuries, and that's probably going to have to be settled, going to have to be paid out. Just from seeing the video. I'm not going to show the video on here because it's absolutely brutal. YouTube TOS, probably kick it down, but you can check it out on this CBS article. There's a link in the article to the video. It's not great, folks. They have him dead to rights. So the fact that he wasn't going to trial with the felony charge, that would have been jail time for him, and I would essentially have said ending his NFL career. Now, the question is, what is the NFL going to do with this situation? They've been very quiet about the whole thing. They released a statement today after it got out, say they were monitoring, they've been keeping tabs on it, and then they will make a decision for a suspension. Now, just a reminder, folks, the NFL has been all over the place with suspensions. This is a no contest. This is essentially a guilty verdict in the court of law for this misdemeanor disturbing the peace charge. The NFL is not going to look too kindly on that. They've seen the video. They're not happy with it whatsoever. I was originally thinking this was going to be about a 6 games, maybe down to a 4, but the more I watch it, the more I do some research on similar type cases. Zeke Elliott got suspended 6 games and the DA didn't even press charges. This is a much bigger step up for this. I'm thinking Kamara might get 8 games, maybe 10 games. The NFL has been very heavy with the suspensions this year. They're handing out suspensions left, right, and center with all these gambling allegations and stuff like that. They are not messing around anymore. They're saying we are the #1 sports brand in the United States. You are going to uphold a squeaky clean image or we are going to have hell to pay. So I'm not feeling great if I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. Kamara is kind of at the end of his career. He's had back-to-back really bad seasons, not great whatsoever. A far cry from when he burst onto the league as an all-pro type guy, was a utility man in that Sean Payton offense, run the football super effectively, catch the ball out of the backfield with the best of them. He's had some up and downs, but the last 2 seasons, 2 downs. He was slightly better last year than he was the year before, but only 4 total touchdowns and 4 fumbles on the season. That is not good. And running backs don't get better as they get older. We all know this. They do not age like a fine wine. They are not sometimes like quarterbacks and stuff like that. They fall off a super steep cliff. Now, there's a lot of mouths to feed in New Orleans, a lot of kind of younger weapons, wide receivers. You got a new quarterback in Derek Carr. You have a head coach in Dennis Allen that I don't think anybody really supports or likes. And Kamara is getting very expensive. Let's pull up the contract from here. He's got $8 million due this year with a $24 million dead cap. No chance he's going to be taking that $8 million cap hit. Only $4 million on a restructure here. So he's relatively cheap. $8 million's not too bad, and you can't cut him. But they got the out right here. Out at 2024, it's going to be a $16 million cap hit, where instead he's going to be due $18 million as the almost 19 as the cap hit. So it could be 16.7 in dead cap. I don't see Kamara making it to New Orleans past this season. This is his final year in the Big Easy, I would say. He's expensive. He's going to miss a large chunk of the year from the suspension, most likely. We're going to keep tabs on it. I will be very shocked if it is 4 games or less. I think the NFL takes this stuff very seriously. They're going to lay down the law with him. And why wouldn't you? It sets a bad precedent. If you go easy on a guy, he takes a plea deal. The video is really not good. And they've already caught in a million flack for a million other cases. They're really starting to take no bullshit anymore. They're suspending people for the smallest stuff. Whereas the past, they were very light on stuff. Think of Greg Hardy. That incident was really awful. And they were very light on him. Ultimately got him out of the NFL. But it's a very kind of bad look optically for the NFL. And this story has kind of been quiet. I was surprised it hasn't been covered much, maybe because it's been dragged out so long. It's now popping back up in the news because 2022 feels like forever. Over a year and a half ago, February of 2022, in Las Vegas at the Pro Bowl. He played all of last season because this court case was ongoing. Now that it's settled, the suspension is going to be here. The NFL likes to wait until these things are settled before they ultimately make their decision. And I think that's the right thing. Gather all the evidence, make the right call here. But it's not looking good for the Saints running back. I'm thinking he's getting a heavy suspension. The Saints as a whole were bad last year, bad the year before, just kind of mediocre as can be. You know, they haven't had the best luck with quarterbacks. I don't know if Derek Carr's really going to make much of a move here, but they had high hopes for this season. The NFC South is wide open. No really good quarterbacks in that division. I mean, Jesus, who's the longest tenured guy there? Baker Mayfield in his first season. I mean, it's just no guys have been there. Actually, Desmond Ridder, the longest tenured guy. He was there for 1 year as the starting quarterback. Baker's coming in, Derek Carr's coming in here, and Bryce Young, the new draft pick in Carolina. So it's wide open, and if you have another letdown season in New Orleans, I'm thinking they burn this whole thing to the ground. They trade all their wide receivers. They get rid of Derek Carr. They fire the coach, and then they start back up from ground one. But hey, they had a nice run. They cheated to win a Super Bowl, but hey, they can say they got it. So the longtime dominance of the New Orleans Saints looks like they're heading back to their old ways of the Aints. Break out the brown plastic paper bags, put them on your head, folks. It's going to get ugly. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How many games is Kamara going to get suspended? Should he even get suspended at all? Hey, man, if you're on that, let me know. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.